Hey there. Welcome. Welcome here. I'd like to talk tonight about grief and loss. You know, um, I don't think just about all of us suffer grief and loss at some time in our life. People leave us, they abandon us, we find new friends, we take on pets. Those pets pass away, we mourn them, we get new pets, and it's strange. No matter how much loss we have as people, we're able to sort of like heal a little bit, or at least scab over, and find ways of loving again, and finding new love, and getting back on that horse, so to speak, of giving ourselves to other people, and it's a beautiful thing. I think, I really do think it's a beautiful thing. You know, um, Interestingly enough, I wanted to figure out how to get a lot of writing out there and more readers involved with blogging and mental health blogging. And I decided for every post I put out there, I'm going to do a video commentary and put a link to the article so people can reference and sort of get a better idea. It's all about accessibility, right? Accessibility in words and language and mental health and learning and understanding and new knowledge. So here we go. This is about my last pet as a college student in Binghamton, New York, when I was attending college. So, it was the end of, I guess, spring, beginning of summer, and a lot of my friends were graduating. I was, mourning that loss. They were leaving, and I wanted to replace that like gut feeling like, oh no, everyone's gone, and say, hey, look, here's something I can love again, and sort of grow close to, and feel love for. So I drove down into Pennsylvania, New York, into a random pet store, probably an exotic pet store for Pennsylvania. Maybe not. It's Pennsylvania, pretty exotic there compared to New York. The point is, I found some ferrets, and I didn't have ferrets since I was very young. I didn't remember that experience at all. I just about blacked out for a lot of nights in college, and had suffered not severe permanent memory loss, but definitely blips, whatever that means, right? A blip of periodic and episodic memory loss. So, who was thinking way back to childhood and what having a ferret was really like? Well, I was going to find out. So, I put a cage, a whole lot of stuff, this apparatus. And, I named my ferret Clausewitz. So there's a story there. I don't know if anyone is familiar with the dramatic ending of the Second World War and the Battle of Berlin. But the operation termed for the general rollout of how to defend Berlin as a frontline city, as a capital city, was termed Clausewitz. It's named after an old German general. And the idea was how to defend and sort of defend a capital. That's a big thing, right? And for me, my life, our lives, right, as people, I don't know if you folks, your folks every day is a struggle, but I struggle a lot, given my mental health. I wasn't dealing with schizophrenia then, but I was dealing with a lot of mood disorder and mood destabilization. So interestingly enough, in this idea of sort of like defense building, insulating myself from disaster, possible disaster, I thought of, insulating what this was, my journey to school in Binghamton, as sort of like a last ditch defense. I was going to graduate, and I was determined to graduate. It was important to me to move on, but in doing so, I would have to protect myself. And I believe that having love and having some, something to cling on to would help me cling on to life more. So I bought this ferret and named him Clausewitz. I thought it would be a reminder at all times of the importance to cling on to life when life seemed to, almost pass me by. So, that's where I was at then. I got a little better. I started to heal up a little, or at least I thought I did. When mania sort of begins, this they call it subclinical mania, or when you're really into you're hypomanic. You don't really realize you're elevating, your mood's elevating. So things are a lot more fun. You're walking around more, you're more active, you're a little bit more engaged, focused. I was starting to focus on school more, starting to get really back into things, thinking, yeah, I'm in college, I can do this. I'm going to end on a high note. So what happened was, I was paying more attention to school, and the ferret was sort of in the corner of my room, and my roommates started to notice that there was a bit of an odor. Now ferrets smell; they smell a lot, but a ferret that hasn't been played with, and that leaves sort of like its fecal matter and isn't cleaned up, and the cage isn't attended to hygienically, it builds and the smell builds. So my friends, started complaining about this odor, and I was very involved with my studies. Just about anything, shouldn't have kept me from, reading. I was reading every day, and it was interesting. I really, really started to love reading. And as an English major, it's ironic. Only in the very end are we reading, right? I don't read now. The point is, I was involved and I was focused, so focused on everything else but my ferret that there was very little interaction. And ferrets require a lot of interaction. In fact, more than most animals, they actually require to be held, to be touched. They require a lot of love. And that's what I sought after at the beginning. I thought love would help me, but during this hypomanic period of elevation, I found myself unable to give that love that ferret needed. I didn't even realize it was love. In fact, there were all these reminders, first the smell and the odor of the cage. And then when I started to look into the cage to maybe see if I would clean up, whatever was going on inside, I noticed the ferret had difficulty walking. A little weird step. Now, ferrets they don't walk quite right, or what we think is quite right. But this ferret was walking strangely. It was almost like a strange sort of walk. And that's when I realized, because I wasn't playing with the ferret, and because the ferret was neglected. Yeah, neglected. The ferret's muscles had gone into atrophy. Now, I don't know if you folks know anything about my history of this fear, lingering fear, always in the back of my mind, of any sort of medical trauma, medical disfigurement that could happen to me now or in the future, or at any possible time, given an unfortunate tragic circumstance that has yet to happen, may happen. The point is, this ferret's legs is going to atrophy, and it freaked me out just looking at it. Just the very sight of the ferret disgusted me. Not disgusted me, but disgusted me that I let it get to that point, and also fearful for the ferret, and then I didn't know what to do. I was afraid. I'm sure that ferret was scared, or probably to the point where, I don't know. I don't want to think about what the ferret was thinking, but all I do know is I was scared. I was almost in like, what do I do? And when you have a roommate that's sort of lingering around and sort of already suspicious of your behavior, you do things in private and secrecy. And when your roommate is looking to cause more good than harm to your life and your endeavors and your relationships, you definitely want to keep it a secret. So given that the atrophy was only getting worse and I was unable to tolerate even the very sight of the ferret or the smell, and I knew that any further smell would only cause more peering into my room and stuff, I took the ferret out. I put it in a box and walked it outside with the box, and the ferret's moving around, roommates probably inside his room, not being social and awkward, and there I go with this box, thinking, all right, maybe this is the ferret's opportunity, to freedom, reconnect with the earth, get back to nature. But that's when I realized, what was I going to do? If I left the ferret on the side of the road, what was it? How would it? It would be defenseless for people, cars, any sort of thing. I mean, this was a semi-urban environment. There was danger around for this ferret. But leaving it in the box, totally defenseless, ruinously unprepared for anyone to come by, kick the box, step on it, throw it at something, was probably the worst thing I could have done. But that's what I did. I did the worst thing I could have done. I uh, I took away any chance of success or life for that ferret to move on and live again, and find peace from my neglect and my harmful behavior. I killed the ferret, basically. I killed the ferret. People with mental health disorder, it's funny, not funny, but a lot of people sometimes they seek out to do harm. I didn't seek out to do harm, right? I wasn't, there was no maltreatment, right? Which is like an active sort of like I want to do harm. It's a verb. This was sort of neglect. It was like a passive, you know, I'm not going to do anything about harm coming your way. That's no better. I mean, government, New York State law for children and adolescents, it's slightly better, better ethically, right? But in terms of outcome, it's not always better because death, right, is the outcome, and death one way or another is still the same. It's not life anymore. So today I like to grieve the loss of my pet Clausewitz, and put to rest his memory and his legacy in my life. From him, the ideas and philosophy, behind his naming and what his memory evokes, in terms of my love of life, and to be more nurturing and to be a better person and care for people in my life more. I've learned that we have to cling on to life, not just because it's there and we know it's the right thing to do, because doing is the right thing to do. By giving and loving, only then can we truly be the experience it. You can't just think it and want it and say we need it. You have to be it and embrace it and feel it to do it, right? So on this sort of like Valentine's February thing, I wish you all the best in your loving and clinging to life, and being the best possible you can be for everyone around you at all times. So take care. Be well.